stand for fantasy football franchise. Talking about that guy, Hoogie Tyler every week. Heavy analytics, competition real steep. Whoa, that's sweet. Oh, in this belief. Nick so sick, man, bringing ships the whole fleet. Goats, not sheep. Follow every tweet. Don't sleep, always finding sleepers on the street, boy. F3, winning every single league. Money back guaranteed, but it's free. Welcome to the franchise. Welcome to the franchise. Let's go.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the F3 Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Sean. I'm here with my co-host Joey, who is at Joey the Tooth IDP. We have a couple of special guests. I just want to let everyone know that you can find our written work at dynastyfootballdigest.com and idpguys.org. We have a subscription there for $1 a month, bunch of tools, rankings, all that stuff. So how you doing today, Joey?
I'm doing good. How about yourself, bud?
I'm doing just fine. Happy to have a couple of guests on for the first time. I haven't done this before.
It's nice. And luckily, I know both of these guys. I'll give them a little introductory. I got my buddy Rob Goggins over here. He's at Mr. Mayhem IDP. And I have Jermelle Lewis, his brother, at D1 Potential. And welcome on, boys.
Hey, thanks for having us. What up, bro?
So yeah, I worked with Rob for like 5 years, and he's actually the one who started me with IDP. He started his own league, Mr. Mayhem D League, and I joined on, and that's where I met Mel. And we've been playing football together. Was it fantasy football for 7 years now?
Yeah, almost 10. It's almost 10.
Working our way up.
Which, thank God for that. If you wouldn't have got you into IDP, I don't think I ever would have met you. We would have never done this.
Are you sure you're saying thank God there? I don't know.
No, not really. It's like a sarcastic thank God.
Yeah. So when me and Rob used to talk, like we'd sit there for like 20 minutes a day, like different times throughout the day, and we would just shoot football all day. And then one day he comes up to me, he's like, "Dude, you ever heard of Jermelle Lewis?" I was like, I was trying to think about it, and he's like, "Let me show you a couple clips." And he shows me these clips, and he's like, "Yo, that's my brother." I was like, "For real?" He's like, "That's my brother." I was like, "Man, I got to get to know this guy a little better." So I started watching some of the clips. Rob kept sending me clips like, "Yo, check this out. Yo, check this out. Who's that remind you of?" So a couple weeks ago, I decided to do a nice little write-up on him on a Dynasty Football Digest. Got together, did a little article, did a nice little interview with Mel. Thank you again, bud.
That was beautiful.
Yep, no, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
No problem. It was fun. So I'd actually go ahead, Sean.
I was just gonna say, so you were pretty highly recruited out of high school, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Fun
Go ahead.
You want to tell us a little bit about that? Just like, I don't know. I don't really know anybody personally that's gone through that process, and it's just like a super interesting process to me.
It was, like, to be honest with you, it was kind of we're kind of trying to make it a normal thing, just because right before us, Dwight Freeney got recruited to go to Syracuse, so we had a chance to kind of see that firsthand, and we kind of wanted to taste the same thing, so kind of made it a normal thing and went forward from there. But the process itself, it was crazy, man. Letters in the mail every day, phone calls from recruits, not even really coaches most of the time. Just people try to follow up, and it's like it was crazy.
That's just such a bizarre thing for me to imagine for just like a high school kid, you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, surreal. But I mean, you learn to accept the process, though. You know what I'm saying? This is what you asked for. So once the letters start coming in, you start getting excited, and you kind of realize it's a big deal. Now you got to start focusing on all the other stuff, which I wasn't really that great at doing, but I managed to get things done I needed to and get a scholarship.
Yeah.
When I'm like 170 pounds, so scholarships were not coming for me.
Dude, I think I was 5'7", $130 when I graduated high school. Who are you kidding?
I was 175 when I graduated. When I left, I was 175. I was
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't that big. It was the year after he came back home. Wow.
200, 205.
I got a picture around here somewhere where he just swelled up massively. I jumped in his arms. Like,
And you're like, I'm not messing with him anymore.
yeah, right?
I was like 175 in beer weight, so it's not quite the same.
Oh, yeah.
You enjoyed it, I guess.
Oh, so who was the first college team to reach out to you?
First college team to reach out by letter.
Yeah.
Southern Connecticut.
Yeah. Obviously the locals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Division One.
Yeah.
Would have been Boston College.
Nice. Nice.
Don't nobody
Didn't want to stay too close?
Huh?
Didn't want to stay too close?
Not at Boston College though. Much respect to the program, you know what I'm saying? They play hard, they get their boys to play hard. But no, I'm not playing that ball. I wasn't.
So you ended up at Iowa, right?
Yep.
So what ended up influencing that for you?
Joe, you make sure you tell them the real story, right?
I'll tell them the real story, yeah.
All right. So so the people out here, I mean, it's a great environment. They fully support the recruits. They fully support their athletes, whether it be through academics, helping them get by on campus. It's in the Big Ten. Can't really beat that. You have an opportunity to play Ohio State, Michigan State. The list goes on.
And hand Michigan their worst loss in 67.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
Thanks to Big Bro, man. Thanks to Big Bro. Michigan fan all his life, so I had to go ahead and pay dues.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, man, they gave us a great opportunity to just kind of go and enjoy ourselves. It was completely transparent, and that's kind of what I was looking for. I ended up making a decision there. We were supposed to go, me and my boy Julian and Stanford. We were supposed to go out there together, but he wanted to stay at the crib. He wanted to stay close to home, and he ended up going to get a scholarship at Syracuse University. So big ups to Drew.
Nice. Played with Freeney.
Yeah. I think Freeney was on his way out, but when Julian was a freshman, Freeney was about on his way out.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
So what was your best highlight of your college career, would you say? Would it be that Michigan game?
Best highlight?
Yeah.
It had to for me. It had to be during the bowl game. Even though we got smoked by USC,
Yeah.
that opening kick was probably my best highlight because I don't know. Watching the tape, I saw myself hit a second gear and took out about 2 dudes with 1 block. That was probably my best highlight.
You were ready. You were just like, you know what?
Yeah,
I am
man.
in. I am zoned in its bowl game. All I got.
Yeah, I was ready. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
Fumbled that game though. Not good. I thought I was gonna break for like 80 yards, but my man's hit me from behind and ball went the other way. I don't think I saw the ball again after that though. No games, man.
How about you, Rob? What do you remember best about when Mel was in college? I know you were one of his biggest fans, so what do you think?
In college,
Yeah.
it was the play of Michigan, the one where he ran to the what he do? He ran up the middle. He got the pitch from the quarterback, ran and juked the receiver, juked the safety, and ran him over and ran for the touchdown. The one that you had the video for, real quick.
Yeah.
It's a highlight this versus Michigan. That's my favorite.
Shovel pass, then set up a block, and then fucking ran right through a safety.
Yeah, that was beautiful.
Yeah, that was one of those you watch for arm tackles and like, it's not happening.
No, it's not happening.
That's not happening.
No.
That's some lower body strength.
Like,
I'm losing you, Rob. I lost you for a hot second.
I don't know why. I know. Hold on.
But yeah, so anyway, Mel, like, what are you doing now these days? You got your own thing going, right? Helping out some young aspiring athletes.
Yeah, a couple things. I coach at Jefferson High School here in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. 4A high school, play at the highest level, which is great. I love it. I currently am the running backs coach and offensive coordinator, so I call plays. That's kind of what I was working on when you called me earlier. You guys called me earlier, watching over some film, my first opponent. But aside from that, my business, I do athlete development for youth, starting at, say, third grade, going all the way up to high school and collegiate levels.
Oh, nice.
I have in grassroots right now, we're working on a 7-on-7 league. So my team called Prime Athletes. So it'll be Prime Athletes 7-on-7 participating in Iowa Elite 7-on-7. So that's going to be pretty huge because 7-on-7 is blowing up all over the country. We want to be a part of that.
Nice.
And I partner with a company out here, Hard Drive MMA. They do jiu-jitsu, ruthless kickboxing, wrestling, the whole 9 yards. So we're trying to do a lot of things across all different sports, not just football, not just basketball. Trying to track athletes, fighters, tennis, baseball, you name it.
Nice, man. Nice.
It's really cool that you're sticking with sports even after you're not, like, you're done with your career in sports as a player, but you just get to continue that momentum on to the rest of your career.
Yeah, I enjoy sports. And I don't know, I kind of one of those people, like, if you don't like what you're doing, why the hell do it? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I started working in the office. I've worked for companies just for the money. And the money's good, but the stress isn't. You know what I'm saying? I got kids. I got a wife. I'm happy with that. I want to nourish that. You know what I'm saying? So I would prefer to do what I love to do and find a way to make money off of that. Just because it'll be passion behind it and it's worth it, rather than sitting behind somebody else's desk. And yeah, that's not a good recipe for me and my health, so to speak. So I'm kind of being selfish in my career choices, as we should be.
Yeah, definitely. So, what are your plans for fantasy football this year? You think you're gonna make any noise?
I know.
Because Rob, we got your league going again. I don't know. I think if you look at that belt, I think my name's on there 3 times.
3 times, I think.
3 times?
Yeah, it's not even right. You keep making trades, and I wouldn't encourage it to anyone, but it's legal, so I guess I'll let it slide. But geez, man, this guy right here, Joey. I mean,
I can't believe you let him win.
It's always the new guys. Like, that's
Dude, you have no idea how many offers that kid this past year. I offered him like 17 offers in 2 days. I think he was just worn out and he just took one.
Just now lobby against it because you have time. You have what? We have 2 days to lobby against it, so that's what I did. Reject the trade. Like, come on, Joey team is stacked. Like,
yeah, I was able to. It's a redraft league. I was able to take Le'Veon Bell before the trade deadline and trade him for Weekly.
And I told you, Joey, not to grab.
Stop saying Quickly. That's not his name.
Weekly.
His name is. That's not his name.
I get names wrong all the time, and it kills Sean. It kills him. It's like a Key and Peele episode.
Keekly.
I don't know. In no way I'm letting Joey win a league I'm in.
Are we in any leagues together?
I don't know. If we're not, we're going to get in one. And I'm just going to immediately start trading players to whoever's playing you that week.
Start a clause, get it set up. I'll trade you for this week, and when you're done with Joey, we're done. You give him back.
Seriously. Like, I think I'm gonna have some spots opening up in the D League. Maybe 2.
You want to join a redraft there, Sean?
Yeah, I don't do a lot of redraft. I'm in for it though.
The redraft would change your life. I'm telling you.
Redraft was my life till I found Dynasty.
You haven't played the D League.
It's fun. True. It gets intense. If you got to start looking at corners and stuff though, because he's got like passes defended and stuff pretty high.
Yeah, so corners really matter. Corners really matter, and it becomes a matchup based with the corners. It seemed like I haven't seen it this year, but last year it's going to be a matchup based heavily. So make sure you pay attention. You don't want to grab Aqib Talib or Marcus Peters. You want to look for the other guys. That's what I would recommend.
Well, and that's something that I found too when I was trying to create a new scoring system for some of the new dynasty leagues. Like, passes defended really makes a huge difference for making cornerbacks valuable. Where if you make those like important, then tackles are no longer as important, and you can kind of just like draft good cornerbacks and stuff.
Exactly. So. Yeah. There's a lot of good cornerbacks in the league. You'll be surprised, and that's what changed my mind. I was like, wow, just so many different.
Nate says he's in too. If you got 2 spots, he says he's in. He says he wants to take that belt from me.
Nobody wants Joe. Nobody wants Joey to win.
Nobody wants me to win. For some odd reason, I'm like the most hated person in fantasy football. I don't get it.
Trades. I
don't know how you feel like stuff.
Listen, I don't force them to hit accept, all right? They just do it.
And I hate it. I'm sorry. Like,
Bell's traded with me before.
I hated it. Like,
something to do with Devin McCourty. I don't remember.
Redraft trades are hard, man, because there's no like somebody always loses. Somebody's gonna lose.
And in the year one, I was like a fringe playoff guy. Like I was fighting for the last spot. And I made a trade. It was some crap depth and Mikel LaShore. And I got Roddy White and Andrew Luck in his rookie season. And that propelled me to the championship game and ultimately the championship belt.
Bad.
It was so bad. And the worst part is the kid who I offered it to calls Rob that day and says, could you please just force this through because I need this to happen? He's like, you're about to trade yourself out of the playoffs, right? And he's like, dude, you do it if you just push it right through. So he pushed it through. I got in. I won my last game, got in as the 8th seed, and I just ran through the playoffs.
I saw it happening.
Mikel LaShore just like gives me nightmares as a Lions fan. Like, ugh.
Mm-hmm.
That was the worst. Joey, that was the worst.
That was the worst by far.
The first one was the worst.
I agree, and I think that set the tone for all the following ones.
Yeah, right.
Even if it looks good, they're like, no, that's garbage.
No, I don't believe you, Joey. Like, it's not a fair trade.
So you guys got any, since we're talking to a running back, you guys got any running backs who you plan on targeting at all this year?
Aaron Jones. I'll draft him twice.
That's the first one you're going to. Aaron Jones, of all the running backs in the league, that's the first one you're going to.
Yup. You know, I ain't talked to you, lad. I didn't talk to you yet, so I remember the year before you.
Why everybody sleep on Le'Veon Bell still?
That's Joey. Joey.
I still like him. I like him.
I like him.
I'm out on him. I'm out.
Quiet.
You're out.
Working.
I'm out on Lev Bell.
I want to see.
I'm out on Zeke.
Man,
I'm out on Zeke's brain. What's going on in that dude's head?
Oh no, man.
He's gonna play himself out of the league. It's like let them get into a fight at a Vegas club, and then I'm not even in the last year of my contract. I'm gonna try to negotiate an extension. It's like
not even negotiate. Like I need money.
Right.
I need money right now. I need a lot of it.
It's like you have to have Dak and Cooper first, and then it's your turn. Let these guys go first, and then it's your turn. I don't know. He's gonna play himself right out of the league. He's too good, but man, see a cancer.
But yeah, I like him with Gase. I'm really intrigued about that. With Gase, I see good things.
See, that's because you're a Broncos fan. I don't think anybody else sees any player with Gase as a good thing.
Like, does it worry you that their offensive line in Pittsburgh was so good and he had time to kind of just like do that patient running style, and now he's going to the Jets where he's not going to have that anymore?
Well, I think they're going to run a zone. And so it's kind of the same thing. Like, so if you, like, I mentioned it on Twitter the other day where it's kind of watching Noshawn Moreno. Like, if you like Noshawn Moreno with Gase, it's going to work. Like, so I don't, And No Sean ran 1,200 yards that year. It was ridiculous, and that's the kind of system.
That was the year he had like the rocket tears. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
There's the video of him like crying and just like shot out of his eyes. It's like
he was so pumped to be crying. He's like,
He's like just flexing those tear ducts and just tears shooting out. It's like, what is
with the national anthem? I think it was something to do with his dad. His dad was in the service or something like that.
Is that what it was?
I think so.
Yeah, that was a really good year for him because that was when Peyton had his like record-breaking touchdown thing in week 1 too. I think.
Yeah, that was crazy. The year. 51 touchdowns.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, that was Gates. That was Gates.
They'll be okay. They'll be okay over there, man. I think, and Rob, I think you're exactly right. They're going to run a zone style offense with Le'Veon Bell out there, and just with his patience, he's fast enough to hit the edge, make you pay for it. He's quick enough. He's patient. One thing that's underestimated, like people don't really pay attention to with Le'Veon, he always keeps his shoulders square to the line of scrimmage. Even if he's stretching the defense, his shoulders are still square. So if you overrun it, you're done for. So I think you'll have a successful season. It'll probably make Sam Darnold pretty good too.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big help for Darnold.
I think so. We'll see.
Yeah, targets. So wide out.
So what do you got for Aaron Jones? Why do you like Aaron Jones so much this year?
Because I think they're going to give him the ball. Like it just his touches increased. Like they're just going to give him the ball. Like, so, with the ball, he was amazing, but they just didn't give him the ball.
Can he stay healthy?
Guy twisted his knee. I mean, come on. That was at the end of the season. They were all done. Yeah, it was one of those you should have pulled your starters.
But I do agree. He had like 5.8 yards per carry last season.
Ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. And if they do want to get him involved passing the ball, that could be pretty huge too.
That's the big part is they got to start throwing him the football. If they start throwing him the football, he's going to be a monster. But if you're limited to just on the ground work, like, I mean, they're not similar players at all. But you look at like Jordan Howard. It's like that if you don't catch footballs, you're Jordan Howard. You know?
Yeah, he's a pounder.
Yeah.
He's so frustrating, man. That dude he's good to watch on TV because he's just a strong physical runner.
Yeah, I like him.
Fantasy player, dude, he is so frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened to me last year.
Get to an occasion of 9.8. Like, can you break 10?
Oh, man.
Once, please.
If the game flow is not in his favor, if they're behind and he has to catch some footballs, he's scoring like 5 points.
And done by the third quarter.
If you're ahead after first quarter, he can get you like 15, 20, and you're good.
Right. Yep. You're absolutely
That's
right.
why I will never draft him again.
Nope.
So with that said, then, like David Montgomery this year, like, are they going to let him catch passes, or is it still going to be Tariq Cohen catching the passes, and David Montgomery is going to be the new Jordan Howard?
I don't know. Like, I really don't know what they're going to do with him.
I think with Montgomery, it kind of opens it up a little more because he can catch. That's the thing. So you can still run the offense that you wanted to run with Jordan Howard, but it actually works this time. Because they tried doing it with Howard, he was freaking terrible at it.
So then, what are you doing with Cohen?
You could either run a 2-back, flank him out. I mean, he's a phenomenal receiver. Put him in the slot. He's just like those small, shifty slot receivers. He's James White. It's like James White and Sony Michel.
Yeah, but for as much as people say they're going to use the 2-backs, like it really doesn't happen all that often. Like it's always something where they're like coaches are like, oh yeah, we're going to use 2-back sets and stuff. And it's like, yeah, it happens maybe 3 times a game, 4 times a game, you know?
Sometimes it's situational.
I was going to say, flow always dictates that. So
exactly.
Flow of the game is responsible. I mean, it'll happen, but it's a crapshoot, especially when you got a running back that's getting all of their fantasy points off of catching passes and getting yards after the catch. It's a crapshoot unless you got Alvin Kamara.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'm big into James White this year. We're just looking at our ADP. Like he's getting drafted as an RB3, and I think he ended as RB8 last year. And I think the only change they made to their running back group was adding Damian Harris, and I don't think that's going to affect James White all that much.
And they lost Gronk.
Yeah.
So they lost a target monster. Yeah, I like James White too.
I've always liked James White.
Yeah.
Always like.
He was the same thing last year where everyone was trying to figure out the Patriots backfield, and the year before for that matter.
It's every year with the Patriots figure out the backfield. Have fun.
Right, but every single year the consistent one is James White because he catches passes.
Yeah, and Julian Edelman. Edelman.
But we're talking the backfield.
Oh, but I know, but still, like, that's all I look for in the Patriots. If I can't get Julian Edelman, I'm not drafting Patriots.
Oh, yeah, we know. Don't worry. I've never seen it. Looks so weird seeing Rob have this giant man crush on a freaking 5'8" tiny white guy.
The second one. You, Joey. I love you, Joey.
Oh man. Mel, where are you heading? Work?
Nah, man, I'm going to up to Hard Drive, going up to the gym. I gotta get
nice.
Gotta do some kickboxing.
Nice.
Bag.
Yeah, Rob, definitely don't mess with your brother now.
Yeah,
he's 100.
He gave up a long time ago. Long.
Man, we peace. We peace.
Yeah, right?
About peace. Let's have a conversation and talk it out.
Yeah, that was me and my bro too. I don't think me and my brother ever threw a punch at each other. Besides, like punching each other in the arm or anything.
Oh no, we can't. We can't say that.
I mean, I've almost choked him out before, and I think he's done the same to me. But we've never hit each other in the face.
We can't say that either.
Yeah, right.
When you two, did you guys ever play football in high school together?
Not together, no.
Not together?
No.
So you guys used to play pickup a lot, though, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so were you ever against each other?
Nope.
I was going to say, if you guys were ever against each other, was there some of that bad competitive juice there?
Wait, we were against each other once. One time. The last time. Yeah.
At the park?
No, not at the park. We was on, I forget the street. We was in Bloomfield right before you went to school. And we had that one last pickup game and you showed me your speed. And I didn't believe you.
And then he burned you and you were like,
yeah.
That's all you got? Come on.
No, we were never on different teams. We was always on the same squad to the point like we had our own plays.
I was gonna ask you if you remember that, Mel. 7 split.
Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely. We had all our own little. Yeah. It was tough to beat us when we was on the street.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I can only imagine. Plus, you're two incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
Jeez, I know Rob's incredibly competitive. Man, this guy used to come up to me at work. Yo, what are you doing? This minute, he's yelling at me, and I'm just like, hold on, I'll be right with you, Rob. What can I do for you, ma'am? We used to have guys in our department sitting there looking at me like, are you guys going to do any work today or just keep talking football? I'm like, whatever, you guys talk about what you like.
Yeah. Right?
Did you guys go somewhere else then? Whatever.
That was fun.
All right. Well, we're going to be back here for our final segment of the day in just a minute here. We're going to talk some of our favorite all-time running backs.
Yeah, Mel, thank you for joining us, bud. I appreciate you coming on. And we'll see if you get the belt. I doubt it, but we'll see.
Hey, I'm coming, man.
Honestly, as long as it's not Joey, who cares?
You're a better actual football player. I'm the better fantasy player, brother. What's up?
We'll see, Joey. We'll see. I'm done. Like, I don't even know why I'm talking to you right now, Joey. Like, telling you about my guys and who I like. And
Oh yeah,
He's scouting.
This is why I brought you two on. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna know who they're going. I need to know when to jump.
Yeah. Everybody in the first round, go.
Savage. All right, fellas, I gotta roll, man. I appreciate you having me on.
All right, Mel. Thanks, bud.
Thanks, Mel. Love you.
Love you too, boss.
All right. And we are back with Joey and Rob, and we are going to be talking just some of the players that we're kind of targeting this year. And you guys kind of know some of the guys that Joey and I like. So we're going to kind of just let Rob roll with it a little bit and just tell us some of the guys that he really likes and talk about why. So Rob, you got somebody specific that you're interested in this year?
Pretty sure he likes Chad Kelly.
Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. I'm
3 years.
You should have heard him gushing about him when the Broncos drafted him. Yo, we got Chad Kelly. He's our savior.
He is. Either him
Everybody
or
loves
Justin Hebert,
Chad Kelly, man.
or Justin Hebert. I have theories about Justin Hebert. But no, well, since we're talking about quarterbacks, Andrew Luck, man, like he's that guy this year. I really see it. I really believe it.
Definitely. I agree.
The interesting thing with him is that he's going after guys like Baker Mayfield and stuff. It's like,
which blows my mind.
You know me, like I've been a Baker Mayfield truther forever. And Andrew Luck should be going before him in fantasy drafts. The fact that he isn't is crazy to me.
It is. It's very crazy. And I think I can get him 3rd round, 4th round. I'll take that early. Snatch him right up.
And it's crazy because you saw what he did. He's always had TY, but then he had great years with guys like Dante Moncrief. Who he's a pretty good receiver. He's nothing crazy, but they added Paris Campbell and they brought on Devin Funchess.
Okay.
And then you have your 2 tight ends, Doyle and Ebron.
Jesus, get your names right.
Whatever, Lions fan, shut up.
I'm used to talking to Joey, so I know when he screws the name up, I know what he's talking about.
He just shakes it off. He's like, God, he's terrible.
I just roll with it.
We need you to train this guy.
No, I'm telling you, we need to have a segment. The last segment of one of our shows just needs you need to give me a list, and I'm just gonna spitball them. I'm just gonna shoot from the hip and see how I do.
We got Queekle and Ebron and
Goose.
Darius Goose.
I said juice the first time, and then you're like, no, it's like, what is it, Goose? Come on.
So bad.
That one got everybody going.
But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Andrew Luck. Somebody that I found in dynasty drafts that's falling, like, it's kind of surprising because like Carson Wentz is still like he's going up there in terms of ADP, but I've had several drafts where he falls just because the standard deviation is so much where he'll be in leagues that people just kind of let Carson Wentz fall because they don't trust his health. And I don't know, he's somebody that I really like at the price I'm getting where like you're taking Goff and Mahomes obviously is way up there and all that, but Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, but like I think Carson Wentz deserves to be at least like at the back end of that tier after Mahomes, and I think that he's going way later than all of them.
Yeah, so you'll be able to get him at a good price. Yeah, but I don't know. I want to see more from Wentz. We haven't really seen. I mean, what we saw we had that one year. 1 year. So we'll see. Man. I'll rather take Foles.
I mean, you've seen.
Yeah.
In Jacksonville?
Over Wentz, yeah.
Even if you believed he was a better quarterback, he's in Jacksonville.
I like I think he could be efficient in Jacksonville. And with fantasy, it's about efficiency and points. So give me Foles. I'll take good guys on bad teams all day.
All right, we'll take that hot take. We'll put it in the back pocket, and I'm also just gonna put that in the back of my head for when we play in a league together. Just be
so you can draft him and trade him?
He's not touching Wentz. Yeah, I'm going to take Foles in the first round and then just try and trade him.
No way.
Myself, quarterback, Matt Ryan, man. Matt Ryan is not getting enough love this year. He's like going like QB 10, and the dude just came off a great year. He still has Julio. He's getting Devonta Freeman back. He's got Calvin Ridley. Hoopers.
Matt Ryan is just one of those guys that he's underrated every year. He performs every year. Same thing with until last year, Cam Newton was the same deal where like Cam Newton was going as like QB 11 or something, and I think like the year before that he was QB 2. It's just nuts. Like there's just certain guys that are just always underrated at the quarterback position.
Yeah, and you think Wentz is one of those guys, huh?
No, Wentz I don't think is underrated so much as just like he's at that tier break where like he's considered in that tier of quarterbacks with like Baker Mayfield and all those guys, but he is like there's the gap in ADP where people take Rodgers and all those guys, and then there's a huge like 3 to 6 round gap where no one takes a quarterback, and then Wentz falls at the beginning of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can definitely see that.
So yeah,
But I just.
you're just not interested. I get it. I get it, and everyone's got their guys. That's totally fine. Do you guys have anybody at a running back that you're specifically targeting? I know we talked to Aaron Jones a little bit. We talked to Lev Bell.
Yeah.
I'm big on Damian Williams this year. I think so, because it's one of those things where like Andy Reid, like the Chiefs always have a productive running back, and it's never a committee. It's one running back.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a matter of figuring out who that is. Yeah, it's just a matter of figuring out who that is, and I don't think they've done anything to unseat Damian Williams. Okay. And like, I was not on the Damian Williams train, but he's going like, what was it, like RB like 25 or something like that?
21, because it's right before Devonta Freeman.
Yeah, and like if you get him at RB 21 and he ends up being the RB1 in Kansas City, he's a top 10 running back lock.
Yes, easy. So I can see that too. Well,
I never knew he was that big. I thought he was a smaller back, but he's over was he like 205, 210?
Yeah, I mean that's not that big. Like 205 is kind of.
I pictured him more along the lines of like the Matt Brady. I thought he was just like a speedy scat back, like a 190 pounder. And then I was reading stats on him, and I was like,
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, so he has some size,
decent size to him.
Okay, he has some size. He's not.
Yeah, he's not a big back, but he's just bigger. I thought he was more along like the Philip Lindsay, Matt Brady size.
Got it. Was not wrong.
205 is kind of. Yeah, no, there's a place for smaller backs. 205 is kind of the cutoff, though, where like if you're under 205, there's no way that people expect you to be a workhorse back. If you're over that, you got a shot.
Yeah.
You know,
over 205, 210ish, and also depends on your size. How tall is he? How tall is Damian Williams?
I want to say 5'8", but I'm not 100% sure.
That can't be right.
Let me
checking you right now,
dude. That was a total shot in the dark. I can't remember. I just remember him being over 200, 205. Don't hold me to that like you hold all my other freaking crap.
I'm holding you to the same. He's 5'11", 212. 5'11".
212?
Yeah, that's a little lean, but it's like it's big enough.
I like it. I like that size. 5'11", 212. Speedy.
I like
kind of always liked those. Freeman?
Yeah, he's going late, man. He had one bad year, or not bad year even. It was just he was out all last season. He could have come back. It wasn't like it was a career-threatening injury. They just weren't competitive at the end of last season. And I think every other year he's been a top 10 running back, and he's going RB 22. Really?
Yeah, I'm with you. I kind of like all these running backs like toward the like in that 15 to 24 range, just because like. With all the recent emergences at running back, you're getting decent value down there.
Yeah, definitely. And you got people jumping on the likes of like the rookies, like they're going like that mid-20s guys is close to the Miles Sanders. Like I don't even trust Miles Sanders to be the lead back yet.
No,
he's better than Jordan Howard, but.
You know how I feel about Miles Sanders. I was conductor of that train before it was going back when he was
fired that thing right up.
Yeah, that was my pinned tweet for a while. Was tell me what's wrong with Miles Sanders. That was a big fan.
Oh yeah.
But
I don't know. That's how I feel about Philip Lindsay. Like, tell me what's wrong with him.
He was my dude last year. We go back to the IDP guys pod. When he went undrafted, I was like, this is a guy to keep an eye on. This is a guy to keep an eye on. And then he just blew up right away. I was like, oh, man, I drafted him in all my dynasty rookie drafts in the 4th round everywhere. So
nice.
I made the mistake of like trying to hedge my bets there because I always like gamble against myself when I hit on somebody undrafted. I'm like, okay, maybe he's just a flash in the pan. And I end up trading him straight up for Ronald Jones in one league after like 2 weeks. And I hated Ronald Jones.
That's a gut punch.
So bad. It was like,
well, I did that with David Johnson in our dynasty, and Joey grabbed him. Like,
That I
It's like,
did.
What's this guy, David Johnson? Whatever. The team was so stacked in the dynasty, it didn't matter. And then Joey picked him up and said, dude, why'd you do that? Like, what are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. I just like whenever I have so many years of one guy, I try and just like balance it out. Like, okay, so I have him everywhere. I can afford to sell a couple shares, like in a couple different leagues. And so Philip Lindsay was one of those because he was going so late in rookie drafts. And I was a huge fan of his that I landed him everywhere. And so then I was like, yeah, I can sell a couple. And I didn't draft Ronald Jones anywhere because I think he's terrible. But in case I'm wrong, here we go.
all right, we'll see.
What do you guys think about wideouts?
Oh man,
I know you want Julian Edelman. We already talked about your man crush on him.
but I'm gonna grab him late. So I mean, nobody's gonna jump. So when like it's funny because what I see in all the mocks is the wideouts are going. So who are you gonna grab? You're gonna grab a wideout. You're gonna grab a running back. I know I can wait on Julian Edelman, so I'll just grab a wideout. So I can stack that wideout position and I can set it and forget it. That's why I focus on Julian Edelman, and everything's PPR. So and he's a monster at PPR.
Yeah. And like you mentioned earlier, no Gronk.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not playing PPR, you're playing wrong at this point. That's just the way it is. So
Exactly.
yeah, he's just gonna be a target hog over there. I love Edelman over there.
No, but what I'm really just that Green Bay team, man. Like that's I'll keep leaning back to that. I got Adams. You can grab Adams early.
Oh yeah, Adams is definitely a stud.
Like first round, once all the running backs go, the next wideouts, it's a toss up between you have Hopkins, you have
Odell,
Adams, Michael Thomas,
yeah, and it's just on. I just get into that habit of who has the better quarterback, and I just keep going back to that Green Bay team.
Yeah,
I kind of love having like the back end of the first, where you can just like wait and you're like, yeah, I kind of value Michael Thomas, Odell, DeAndre Hopkins, Devonta Adams. Like, there's obviously like a ranking that I have there, but they're all kind of in the same range. You can grab one of them, and then you can grab Mike Evans on the way back, or
and then you got a stacked receiver core.
Exactly.
And sometimes Mixon will be sitting there in the second round, just depending on who you're drafting with. Whether
a little worried about Mixon this year. Not that his talent level by any means, but they lost 2 offensive linemen this year.
Yeah, that was big.
They just had somebody retire, and they lost their rookie that was supposed to come in and start. So you have 2 starting offensive linemen out.
But at the same time, they're learning a new system, so it doesn't matter. Like these guys are in the NFL, so they're gonna pick up the system. So what happened last year really is not gonna matter this year. So Mixon is somebody to keep an eye on. Him, AJ Green, even the what they call him, the Red Rifle.
Red Rocket.
Yeah, right. So
Andy Dalton.
A lot of stories to watch this off season. So that's why I just keep my eyes peeled. A lot of things changed. And
plus, don't forget about Tyler Boyd.
Yeah, he should take another step too. Like he was amazing last year at the back end of the season.
What do you guys think about the tight end position?
Oh,
I really like Mark Andrews. I know Hayden Hurst will probably cut into some of his work, but
Andrews, I think, has separated himself enough.
I hope so.
You got Herndon and the Jets. He's
suspended. Four games.
Yeah, it happened yesterday. I think.
See what happens when you take a day off of Twitter? You just
see the guy I'm drafting real
Austin
late.
Hooper.
I'm going even wicked late because I usually sit on tight end bad. Josh Oliver. He's gonna be the starting tight end in Jacksonville with your boy Foles, who's just efficient.
With the tight end, like I mean, he's gonna get the ball to the guy. I mean, he won Super Bowl MVP. You can't not look at that. So,
I never bet on rookie tight ends.
I know it's a horrible thing to do. It really is, but
yeah. So what about Minnesota? What do you think they're gonna do?
Get me started on Irv Smith, Voodoo Doll.
No.
You don't even want to get me started.
It's like got Kyle Rudolph over there. I don't know what they're doing.
I think they're gonna do it. Like they got Kubiak over there, so that's another Denver guy. So I know my Broncos. They got Kubiak over there, and that's one of his go-tos is to the tighten up the seam. And I think Rudolph is gonna be a sneaky play late.
Yeah, no, I can get into Rudolph. Irv Smith for redraft, not into it. Irv Smith for dynasty, very into it.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. Well, thanks a lot for joining us today. Yeah, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah, your first guest, man.
Yeah, no, like nervous as fuck. Like, oh, there with the F-bomb. Like, there's mayhem everywhere. Like,
closing it off right. So we're here with Rob, Mr. Mayhem IDP on Twitter. And earlier we had Jermelle Lewis
at
D1 Potential. So once again, we're pushing for 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. You can find us at idpguys.org. You can find us at dynastyfootballdigest.com. For just $1 a month, you can get a subscription there, and it comes with tools, rankings. We have combined offensive and defensive ADP. You get a free entry into our Slack channel, subscriber channel, which is just a fantastic resource. Everybody who subscribes has its own channel. All the writers are in there, and basically we are there to help you with any questions you have. Just throw ideas around, talk draft strategy. When you're doing your draft, we can tell you who we would take in any certain situation, tell you what we think about trades, all that stuff. So absolutely a fantastic tool, and it is $1 a month for either website. Other than that, it's been a good show, and we've been very happy to have Rob and Jermelle Lewis on. So thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, man.
That was fun. This is fun. Real fun.